Hi everyone, welcome back to Resin Me Up. How is everyone? I hope you all had a Merry Christmas. Today we are going to do the sailboat and the octopus jar. I had a couple of requests for that, and they requested that I do the sailboat in polyurethane, and we're going to do this in resin. I'm going to brush the octopus. I'm going to do the lid in polyurethane. I've never mixed the two as far as putting them together, but today we're going to do that. So let me get some gloves on here, and we're going to do the polyurethane first. And while that is curing, we're going to work on the jar. So let's see, the boat is 2.2 ounces. And since their measurements usually aren't right on the money, I'm going to do 2, maybe 3. So maybe 3.5 ounces. I don't like to do half measurements with poly, but I will. Okay, let me grab. And we're going to use the Bond Crafter poly. Let me grab a cup because we're going to weigh it. Oh, I guess it really doesn't matter. I'm weighing it, so I don't know why I was worried about that. You do have quite a bit more working time with this than you do with the Let's Resin. That's for sure. Because with Let's Resin, this would have already been cured or starting to cure. You don't have that much grace with it. %. Okay, now we need to do that, or, and that's it. So I don't need to mix up very much more. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and brush this first. And that way, in case I have extra, I'll go ahead and pour that. So let's do that. You guys need to let me know what you think about the lighting. Is it brighter? Do you think it's better? And once I hear what you guys think, then I'll let you know what's different. Okay. So octopuses, or octopi, whatever you want to call them, are color changing. They can change from red, yellow, gray, almost translucent. They can change to different colors depending on their environment. If they want to hide based on their predator, they can, adapt to their environment. So I got out my Baltic Days, and they're a chameleon mica powder. And I got out a red, orange, yellow, yellow, green, and an indigo, violet, red, orange, yellow. So because I think if I do the red, orange, yellow, yellow, green, I think it would be okay. I think I'll just do that one because this one says indigo, violet, and I don't think there's any indigo or violet. So we'll just do this one. And they can do pink too as well. So we'll just brush it with this. So did everybody get their strange addiction or strange, what is it? Stranger Things. That's what it was. Did they all get their Stranger Things? Did y'all get your Stranger Things fixed last night? The kids were here and everybody was just freaking out because it was the end of the season or the end of the show. And so everybody had to watch it. I've never watched it ever. And so I was lost. I watched it with them, but I was lost. Apparently it's a very popular show. I'm more into true crime and, resin and, that kind of stuff. I mean, it seems like it's a good show. I just don't have time to watch it. But apparently it's a very popular show. Okay, I think that covers it. Okay, let me go out and clean this up so that, you know me, it's got to be perfect. And then I'll BRB and we'll get the rest of those poured and all that. Okay, BRB. Okay, y'all, finally got that brushed, all cleaned up. Now we're going to mix up the poly. And the lid takes 2.7 ounces. So I'm going to mix up 3.5 because these aren't going to take that much. Okay. And this is ready to come out of here. Might as well. There's that. I'll get that back straightened out. Okay. So everything else has got to cure. Oh, I guess boat. Shiny that is. Their poly definitely is shiny, shiny, shiny. All right, so there's that. And we'll let those cure up. And then I am going to mix up my resin for this. Clean up all this other mess. Get my bottles put away, and I'll BRB with the resin for this. Okay? All right, BRB. Okay, y'all, got the resin mixed up. So I thought it would be fun to do my swirl technique with the sapphire and the enoki. So let's pour a little bit in here. Oof, I got gloves out and I forgot to put them on. Hold on. Can't have that. Forgot to squirt that with alcohol too. See if I can pop those bubbles down there. Because I can see them. Okay. What is going on today? I give up. I'm going back to bed. Okay. So we'll start out with some sapphire. Basically, you just take your clear and you go in swirls and you break that up. Just like that. And then you take your white and you put your white on, and you're going to do the same thing with your white. And it's important to get the white broke up because the white is what can sink or leave blobs or, you know, whatever. So and breaking it up like this makes it really wispy. I mean, I know I've explained this lots of times, but I know I have new subscribers to my channel. So I want to make sure I explain it to everybody. Now I want to put a little more blue in there before I finish it. Come on. And you really have to keep your resin at a steady flow. You can't just pour it all in there because that'll push your white too deep and it'll just go in glumps. Because the purpose is to break it up and not push it. Okay, I am full. I can't do any more. And then if you still feel like you have some that aren't broke up, just take a silicone tool and just break up those lines. Just like that. Because that will help keep it from turning into a big blob like that blue right there. See how that's a big old blob? You'll want to break that up so it doesn't stay in a blob. It's very important. And that's how you do that. Just a second. Okay. So that is really what I do for the swirl technique, and it makes really beautiful pieces. My subscribers have been watching me do this technique for quite some time now, and everybody just loves it because it just turns out so unique. Super, super unique. And I do this with the, hold on a second, I'm wiping this lid off and then I'll show you. It's kind of icky. I do this with the octopus inks. I use the enoki, and I'm using the sapphire today. And the enoki is a resin ink for petri dish effect, and the sapphire is an alcohol ink. And the only distributor in the United States that carries these is Laura's Art Corner. So if you want to get some, you'd have to go to her channel to get these, or her website to get these. I am not an affiliate of Laura's. So you would have to, she's got lots of affiliates, Tim, the base resonator, being one. So you would have to go and get one of his discount codes and use his discount code if you want a discount, but I am not an affiliate, so you would have to utilize a discount code somewhere else. But that is where you find them. Okay, well, now we get to let this cure. Hey, y'all, I came up with this idea. I was just sitting there and my husband came home and we were talking, and anyway, something popped in my head. So as you can see, I got a tray out here. I want to mix up some colors and I want to see what I can do. This is going to play into our theme. So I want to create some colors here and see what I can come up with. So I've got some mica powders out, and hold on a second here. Let me get some cups. And I want to see if I can create 3 different colors in a nautical theme. So I want to create like a slate blue, a aqua, and a light sandy brown. So let me get some resin in these, just a little bit, probably about 2 ounces a piece. And then we're just going to pour them into this tray and see if we can't marble these colors. Okay, so for the slate blue, we're going to use some eye candy no-con blue, and we're going to add a little, gray to it. So let me do the gray first, and then we'll add the blue to it. So let me get a stick here. This is all going to be experimental, so we're just going to create some of these colors. So let me mix this gray in here first, because I like the no-con blue, but it's too bright. So I just want to tone it down to like a slate blue. Okay, now let's add some no-con blue. See how blue that is? It's really a bright blue. We'll add a scoop of that. See how that turns out. It still might be too bright. I might need to add a little more gray. It's still too bright. And if I have to, I have black. I just don't want to add black because black is so black. Okay, let me add a little more gray. See if that tones it down a little bit. I may need to put this on a paper towel just to test the color. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good solid slate blue. Or more like a, navy versus this bright blue. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that one like that. Now, the sandy brown that I'm looking for, we're going to use white. And I've got some Let's Resin white. Wipe my stick off here because we don't want blue in there. So we're going to add some white. Colors is all about experimenting, trying to find the right shades. Okay, so there's our white. Now we're going to add a smidge of bronze. Smidge. And I think we're going to have to go with another. Let me see if this seashell will change it in any way. The hardest part about brown is there's a lot of yellow in it. And that's still not where I want to be. Let me look at my colors here. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of yellow. Just maybe a tiny bit more. It's getting there. See how that yellow just totally changed that base color? It's pretty gosh darn close. Okay, let me just add a smidge more brown. And then I'm going to try some of this resin dye and caramel. See what if that does anything. That's pretty close, you guys. Pretty darn close. Look at that. It could be a little more darker. I mean, I don't mind it to be a little darker. I think that's it. So we used bronze, yellow, white, a smidge of seashell, and about 20 drops of Let's Resin dye caramel to get that. That's pretty good. Okay, now our cyan color. I did get the teal out, but I want it to be a little more muted. I don't want it to be so bright. It's not so opaque. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of peacock blue to this. Okay, I think we got our colors. All right, now let me distribute our clear resin and adjust. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to pour in there. Okay, y'all, we'll see you back on demold for all of these molds. Okay, bye. Okay, y'all, while the tray is cooking, we are going to decorate the boat and put it together. But first, get this table wiped off. I got some green tape, resin tape behind the sail because I want to fill in those spots. I've got the TEEXPERT blue and red, but since we didn't, well, I used red on the life preserver. I already did those because, oh, dang it. Didn't get the whole anchor. There was a bubble. I'll get to do it again. Doggone it. Okay. Well, let me get the copper back out here and we'll redo the anchor. I think these are done. There's that. And there's that. And then this did not turn out well with the polyurethane. It's got bubbles everywhere. So that's a no-go. So we're going to re-pour that, but we're going to use UV resin. And here's the paddles. They're fine. And then here's the boat and the inner part of the boat. So it's got some rough edges. I just need to clean those up. Okay. So, and then this turned out great. So that fits in there like that. We're not going to use the red. I think we're just going to use the blue on this. And then for this, I think what I want to do is go ahead and color him in. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with that. Let's fix this anchor again. Gosh darn it. I couldn't even build that one back up. It's missing the whole side. All right, I'll put this under the UV sheen real quick. And we'll get this filled. I'm going to put this in the UV machine and then we'll be right back with it. Hey, hey y'all, welcome back. My phone died right in the middle of everything. So I had to go charge it. So I got everything done. So now it's just a matter of putting everything together. So here's the boat. Here's the sail. Here's Mr. I don't know what he is. If he's a seagull, if he's I don't even know. So, and then here's all the accessories. And we need to get this out. It's the, whatever, the jar that goes with the octopus lid. So let's get it out real quick. That's pretty. Oh, it has lines going around it. Didn't know that. So that's what it looks like. And then here is the lid. Turned out spectacular. I need to color his little eyes black, I think. Actually, let's just do them blue since I have a blue marker right here. It really doesn't matter. So his eyes are right there. Kind of in a weird spot. So there's his eyes. And that fits right on top of there. Isn't that cool? So the bottom looks like water. Isn't it cute? I like it. Okay, tray's done. Let's get it out of here. Can't wait to see what it looks like on the other side. Oh, look at that. I should have poured some more of that, one of those colors right there, and try to mix that up just a little bit. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I like it. Looks good. So I want to make a little thing. So like if you were like into like really into the boating and nautical, you know, theme. So for like your desk, you know, or something. So we're going to put this right here. And then we're going to put this boat together here. So this just sits down inside here. So we're just going to glue it in there so that it doesn't fall apart. Get some glue here. We're just going to tack it in there. With some glue. Whoa, that was a bit much. With some super glue. And then it's going to sit in there just like that. So then that's going to sit in there just like that. And then we're going to put the sail in just like that. So I just need to put some glue on these edges. And I covered it with UV resin all the way around to seal in that. And then just a little right here because it's going to sit back there just like that. Let that sit in there and let it catch. And then I'll go around with some UV resin too, just to make sure. Actually, I'll just go ahead and put UV resin on it because it'll catch with the UV resin on it. Because I'm going to cover these with UV resin anyway so that the paint doesn't come off. The marker paint. Because I painted those with, let me take it out of here so that I can get this done. The acrylic markers. Well, that's in there, so it's not going anywhere. Let me grab my UV lamp so that can be a curing while I get the rest of this figured out. Let's see where we're going to put all of those. Okay, so then I actually found a little octopus in my drawer. So we're going to use that. It doesn't have to be cured 100% because we're going to be adding some more to it here in a sec. Okay, so I think we're just going to put him like right here, and we'll have him facing this way. So like look in that direction. So we'll just put some UV resin down inside there. Okay. Huh? All done. Okay. So I thought it would be kind of cute to have this up maybe next to or trying to get on the jar or maybe on the boat like that. Just because that's an octopus, so I thought this would be kind of cute. Get his things down inside that resin when we put it in there. Seal it all in. What do you guys think? So let me get some resin. I'm going to use the bond crafter because I have a gigantic container of it here. Probably just pour it in there around it maybe. It's going to hold it in there, so you guys, I got to watch my bracelet. I'm not used to wearing bracelets, but a few years ago, my girl, my dog, she died, and she was an Australian Shepherd. Anyway, she died, and so Haley, Miss Haley, she took and got a picture of her from Kate, and inside this little heart, if you hold it up to the light and look through this thing right here, there's a picture of her inside of that. And she gave me that for Christmas. Never seen anything like it. I was just like, "Aw." And then if you put a light behind it and put it against the wall, it'll project that picture on the wall. It's pretty cool. Okay, I think that looks about even all the way around. Looks pretty clear, no bubbles. And so now, make sure the boat's sitting where it needs to sit. Make sure that's where it needs to be. Now, we're going to take this little octopus. We're going to put his little footsie things right there in the UV resin, just like that. Okay, I think we're golden. Looks good. Now, we're going to cure it. Okay, y'all, it is done. Done, done, done. What do you guys think? Isn't that cute? So, like, you could put this on your desk and you put paper clips in there. If you have a bathroom, you could use it for just about anything. So, yeah. So there you go, my little nautical tray theme, and you can use it anywhere, just about anywhere. My thought process when I first thought of it was your desk. You know, if you had paper clips or something in there, or since it's the new year, we could say sailing into the new year, and you could put your New Year's resolutions right there inside the little jar. Or inspirations in the little jar. Every day pick out a new inspiration inside there. I mean, the possibilities are endless of what you could use it for, but it's so cute. I will get pictures of it, put it at the end of the video so that you can tell me what you think of it, and you could have it on either side, either way. Yeah, so there you go. All right, y'all. Well, that's it for me tonight. It's been fun creating this little project, and both of these molds are from the resin mold box, and yeah, they turned out really cute. So, all right, well, I guess we will see you on the next video. Thanks for coming in with me on this one, and let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next video. Thanks, y'all. Bye.